When you're talking about landscape architecture, you're right, it's a very misunderstood term, and people think, well, is it architecture or is it landscaping? And an older gentleman I worked with not long ago who became kind of a mentor to me talked about the idea that what we should really call it is site design, because that's what we do. We take sites and we design them.
It's like a park. You know, if you go to a park, that is landscape architecture. That's what it is. It's just everything around you. You walk down the street, if you're walking your dog and you're looking at your streetscape, that was probably a landscape architect.
Whether it's transportation planning or recreation planning or community workshops, or even if you just want to go to the technical side and just do rendering or 3D work, there's always something new to learn, and it's never a dull moment.
I'm fascinated with the digital realm and basically translating something that is within a virtual reality into real life, or vice versa. I'm fascinated with that transition.
I really like the outdoor spatial components of landscape architecture and the way that master planning elements align, and the way that you organize things. I've always been drawn to urban landscapes and cityscapes, and so those elements were really important to me, and they drew me to the profession ultimately.
For myself, I get bored if I'm stuck on one thing. I have a very short attention span. So when you've got so many things that you can look at to work on a project or have a career in, then I felt like that was something for me.
Coming from the background that I am coming from, which is an urban background, a Latina background, different kinds of ethnic groups use public space differently, and I know that from personal experience, and so I know that I can bring that voice to the table.
A lot of people go to a park and they feel good in there, but they have no idea why they feel good. So I could potentially say, tell me of a place you really like in terms of outside. Central Park, let's say. Hey, I really like this one. It's like, and then explain to them, did you know so-and-so? And it was a landscape architect, and this is the reason why you felt good, that somebody thought about these things. Somebody got into your brain and thought, when he comes down this road, he's going to see this. And it's going to be a big, surprise to him or whatnot.
I think what I'm the most passionate about is probably just working in communities. I lived in a community that was extremely run down, and occasionally somebody might come in to fix the areas, but then once they fixed it, they just didn't ever come back, so they were run down again. And even just, it usually was like more the older community members. Oh, I remember when the neighborhood was like this, and they had all the memories of when the neighborhood was nice, and now it's run down, and there's crime and all these issues. And there's so many of those issues that can be solved with design, with good design, and somebody who's committed to that community or committed to working with the community to figure out what the solution is.
It's a fun profession. It's a profession where we're giving back to either the community or to the environment, and you have the opportunity to use math and science and art and merge them all together to create these beautiful spaces.
Landscape architecture is a very diverse field. Been doing it for quite a while, and I've never worked on two projects that are the same.
What excites me about practicing landscape architecture is being able to get up and know that I am going to take steps towards creating something that has the potential to positively impact a community, a city, even an individual. And just knowing that landscape architecture has that sort of power of transformation is really exciting.
You're building environments that you can enjoy and experience life. And it's not just the fun things as a kid, but also as an adult, of being able to go sit in Bryant Park and watch a movie while you're having dinner, or play checkers out in the park. And it's more than just, planting flowers. It's not just that. It's a very rich, diverse profession.
As designers, we're one of the few professions that serve more than just people. We serve We serve people, we serve the plant community, we serve the insect community, the animal community, and we have to think about the interrelationship of all those different communities. And that, I think, is unique. Most other design or engineering professions, you're only thinking about people. And we have to think more broadly than that, or it doesn't work at all.
We're definitely the superheroes of the design world, because a lot of what we do goes unnoticed, and the names that are associated with it go unnoticed, and usually what you do doesn't come to fruition until much, much later. So by the time that it reaches its full glory, you've already moved on to something else.
I've had the chance to work in design camps, the summer design camps with kids, and it was very inspiring to see that when you give them the tools that they need, and I think that was for myself as well, it's like you can make a change once somebody gives you the tools and the education that you can then go out and implement those changes.
If you're creative and you have a curiosity about how things are in a built environment, look at landscape architecture. It's not about agriculture or these other, and don't worry about the perceptions of what other people have. Like, have that curiosity, use that curiosity, grow on it, and you become a special landscape architect.
Everything that you experience around you, the trees, the way that the benches are laid out, that way you can sit with your dog. And miraculously, the bench had a little hook so that you can leash your dog there so he doesn't run off. That was probably a landscape architect. We're a big problem solver profession.
And I go, well, an architect designs the building, and a landscape architect designs the rest of the world. You know?
You should be a landscape architect because we control your brain.
I can't imagine doing anything else other than landscape architecture. If you were to tell me to do it all over again, I'd be a landscape architect.